Maybe boom, boom's a new one. We have fun here, folks. It is serious competition, but tough to put the friendships aside as we go to battle on this table against his opponent from Bonn in Germany, 2017 U.S. Open champion, 2018 World 9-Ball champion, sponsored by Predator, Andy Cloth, and Gabriel Tables. It's the killer, Joshua Filler. Gentlemen, please approach the table and lag for first break. This will be a winner's break format 9-ball event. At this time, we're going to send it up to the booth to our A-team commentators for this event, Mr. JJ and Mark Wilson. Take it away, gentlemen.
We have arrived here in the finals of the Derby City Classic, and welcome to a terrific pool matchup. Filler and Sanchez for the title. Mark Wilson and Jeremy Jones are coming to you from high atop the AccuStats Arena. Any preliminary thoughts here, Jeremy?
I was interested to see the lag just because of how Ruiz ended the match there in the semifinal, really started to break the balls well, and I don't think much is going to change here. I would doubt that anyways. Just looking back and reflecting on the week, kind of probably knew it was coming even with the different disciplines, but you got to tip your hats to the Euros this week, right? I mean, Filler with the Bigfoot, Federer, of course, with 2 wins and the all-around, and now 2 Euros in the finals of the 9-ball. So,
yeah,
you know, it's been that way for the Americans at times. It's been that way for the Filipino players. I would say that's about it as far as like a dominating week by one, country or area. That's a continent there with Europe, of course, but still impressive to see because, you know, you're talking about other games that these guys haven't played a lot of. And I really think the trip last year where they stayed like 3 months, right, with all those great tournaments, they really put a lot of time in other places in between tournaments, probably played a lot of banks in one pocket. So,
wow. You called it. Oh, ugly. 4 balls on the break.
Yeah, and he made 4 in the semifinal one time as well.
He's really hitting the rack, and now he's jacked up over the – I mean, all you can do is roll it in.
I don't think he can see it.
Well, that too. Maybe you can't even see it.
Yeah, I don't think he can see it. I mean,
you can roll it out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where he can really roll out against the monster that follows him here in this final, that being Josh Filler.
Yeah.
I mean, if he is a little off the 4 a hair, he could move the 4 and maybe get the cue ball down table with the 4, making things tough. He can't roll out to an angle, even if he leaves him, on the rail with the cue ball or whatever. I think it's still tough to roll out to a bank. I would maybe the middle of the side rail. I know you might get laid down behind the 9, but I would make that kind of tough. But I don't want to roll out to anything that's somewhat natural on a bank.
How about a roll out to a kick? I mean, just
where?
Well, just move it a little bit to the an inch or 2.
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of times, is if you can find that, here's that middle of that side rail I was talking about, which I kind of like, as long as it's not too easy to get behind the 9, and I think he overrolled it a hair.
Which will allow him to bank it at the corner here pretty freely, right?
That or move the cue ball behind the 9, maybe, I don't think he chips the 2 and goes behind the 8. I think that's a little dangerous. He may go for the bank, though. Is he going to swallow it? Yes, it is.
Oh, boy. I didn't think it was.
Well, that's that spin.
We've seen it hang up a lot of times with that type of a hit this week.
Yeah.
Filler off to the races.
I think very similar to Efren right there on that shot on the 2, as far as I watched that man hit the pocket, and I wouldn't say I kept getting out of my chair because I figured and learned otherwise, but, Efren, he hit the pocket real well a lot, but occasionally he was like the best ever at making you think he may have missed one, and it goes in. And there's that shot again where they really stay away from the draw on the slick table.
And Filler connects and now leads the match 1-0 here. Just a minute. You know, I always get a little sentimental here at the end because it's been a long, hard week, but certainly want to say a couple thank yous. Number one, I want to send a shout out to my partner, Danny DiLiberto, for so many years.
Absolutely.
We were thinking of you and love you, Danny, and look forward to having you here again. Naturally, I want to say thanks to Pat Fleming and AccuStats. They got the best crew in the world, and it's a pleasure and honor to get to work with them. Diamond Billiards, Simona's Cloth, you, Jeremy Jones.
Yeah, absolutely, and same back at you, Mark, and second every bit of that you mentioned right there. There's the lighter speed. Oh wow,
ugly
what a kiss. Very ugly.
Ooh.
It looked like it was going to be a good kiss, so it would be a complying break, getting the 8 past the head string, but then the cue ball got kissed. I want to thank the players as well. Of course, we always can't do anything without the fans, but, you know, this is a long 10 days for these guys. And for what I've seen, you know, it's been just a lot of competition and a lot of high spirits. And
what a great performance, and we saw great levels of sportsmanship, the culture.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's a new sport here.
No friction at all this week that I saw, and friction, you know, we see it in every sport. That's not something to label somebody by. When you're competing, you know, there's a lot of energy and things happen sometimes. So, but it's been a pretty clean week.
Right. Sanchez, I think, had something in mind, but I'm not sure.
Well, he wanted to just crawl underneath the 4 a hair, like a little bit less than where he's at now. Now he's got to draw into that position instead of using the rail mark. So he just overran a hair here. He wants to get the angle on the 4 in the corner to draw back short side on the 5. So maybe 10 inches with the cue ball, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Now he's perfect.
Yeah, but, you know, we always want to use that rail to come into that line, right?
Yeah.
When pressure's on, it's just a little more comfortable way to shoot it. Just like here going to the rail. He could have really pinched it probably without the rail. I'd bet these guys have played some 15 or 20 times at least, maybe more. There's probably definitely some, competition.
Some real history.
Well, competitive history, you could tell from the opening, these guys get along well, respect each other, that's for sure. You know, and at times, you know, not to take anything away from the Americans, you know, that's my blood right there. But, you know, when you get around the Euros as a whole, especially this era, which I didn't, you know, there wasn't as many before, but it seems like when one of them wins, they all feel like they kind of did it together in a sense, you know, battling with each other so many years and building each other's games.
Maybe a little more community, you mean?
Yeah, just, you know, I just, that's what I sense. You know what I mean? Just being around them, and they're genuinely happy for, you know, the people from that side of the pond, their own guys.
And nice run out there by Ruiz. 1-1 is our score. One race to 9 to see who takes home the title.
Yeah.
And all those Mosconi Cup points, right?
Yeah, absolutely. These events are big. And you know, the Mosconi Cup is, of course, always on everyone's mind, and that's what's mentioned the most. But don't forget that's going to lead into other things for these players beyond the Mosconi Cup. You know, Matchroom, and they run some smaller fielded events as well. They're trying to look towards the future in the, you know, multi-table events. But these points here will be getting you into like the Whirlpool Masters, maybe the Premier League. What else we got? The World Cup of Pool, right?
Right.
I mean,
oh, there's a calendar of about 12 events I looked at.
Yeah, before the pandemic, the World Cup of Pool was going to really jump in prize money going to Saudi Arabia, it looked like anyways.
Got some spin on that one. Didn't quite get the ball action we saw him get, but look at this. Great result.
He's not backing off at all, and I tell you what that does sometimes. That really gives you that adrenaline to get you over the finish line, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. He's not backing off. He's going all for it. These guys kind of take it to the table rather than let the table dictate what they have to do. They make the table comply.
Yeah, and I don't think I threaten. I mean, you can easily chip the 2 in and come 2 rails to the other, you know, head spot. So I go past the 5 if there's any doubt at all. And really, to be honest with you, holding and drawing between the 5-6 should be easy, of course. This ball's going to spread, and this was what my worry was. Okay, but this is just about as touchy as chipping the 2 in and running 2 rails, right? Yeah.
I thought he could have even gone behind the 6 and
right.
got out there. You had a big area, and that way your cue ball is always going for the 3.
Yeah, and you're never getting snookered on the 2. You know, that was a little close to the 5. So, and that's why you see him taking more time here. He's got to draw this ball out. You know, he can't overdraw it because of the 6.
If he can get to the center of the table, that would be great.
Oh, yeah, he can get there. Oh, he played it there, so he's going to come 2 rails. Now, I guess you got to go beyond the 5 here, right? You don't want to go 2 rails to land between the 5-6. It only makes sense to play this position if you're going to stay aggressive and get a little closer to the 4. Oh, watch out. Watch out.
Big trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, he was trying to get beyond it, but did you notice instead of just using spin, he kind of stunned off of the ball a little bit? And, you know, a little preference there, I guess.
Well, I think the spin expands that angle coming in so it doesn't get so flat. When you just use stun that comes across straighter, the spin opens up the angle near, you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely, and I think you're putting a little more pressure that you're more exact with the swing whenever you're stunning. Whenever you roll into it with a thicker hit, with a little spin, you hit the line a little easier, I think. Now, that's just personal opinion. There's pros and cons to both ways to shoot it is the problem, right, Mark?
This result. Yeah, well,
what happens is when you're close, you should feel confident you can execute that shot, and that's what it was. That he wasn't too far away from the 4, so guys will usually take on that shot. And this is another one, most would draw for this ball, and you probably should, but you can hit it with a high and a tip of left, and you're not going to hit the 9 ever. Like that. Oh, a little bit heavy on the spin. Pretty good.
And the 9 ball goes in for a 2-1 lead. Sanchez Ruiz.
Really seen him use it, though. Now, he toned it up on the 10 ball a couple times. And it seemed like for the Bigfoot, he changed the speeds up a little bit anyways. But I don't know. If you haven't really hit the hard one all week, what are you going to do here, Mark? The way Ruiz is playing, along with Filler, of course, any big mistake on the break is such a momentum swing as well.
Yeah.
It may cost you 3 or 4 games. Yeah, way less speed. Great connection, though. And he's going to be open on the 2. Making 3 balls on the break. Okay, he should command this speed. He's about the best in the world at this, taking a little bit of a cut and really not worrying too much about it. It's usually really good, the speed.
No side spin whatsoever on that, or if any, maybe a little bit of check side spin.
I think it was. Oh, he miscued. You could hear it.
Look at this.
What's the speed on the 3? It's going to give up a shot. So.
Oh, boy.
Tricky shot. We'll see what he does here. I'm interested to see if he just kind of thins this to the pocket and kind of creeps the cue ball past the 9. He's full enough he could draw between the 6-9, 1 rail out. I think he'll just take the passive side of things. Yeah, but this is what I was afraid of. If you get into it, it could go a little long. Dig on the cue ball here, Mark?
Yeah.
Trying to kill it? Or do
you're close enough range. I think you can command that half a 8-iron type of a hit. So
I find the key to these is, again, don't let up on it too much. They get into the ball a little bit. It seems like it holds its line a lot better. It seems like to me Ruiz, and I could be way off with this, but it seems like to me when he comes to the table to win a game after a mistake by his opponent, he's a little slower, a little more thorough, and then once he runs out, he gets a rack, runs a rack, breaks the balls, picks up the speed a little bit.
That's the interesting observation that once you say it, I can kind of feel it too.
Yeah, so almost like making sure Josh knows about that mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you want to punish them for sure so they get a chance to think about their error.
Right.
Maybe give them a chance to second guess something later on.
Yeah, and it's like the error right behind the error sometimes when you get quick. You get a little quick. There's some errors in the air, if you can understand that. So just making sure.
It's like a psychological battle.
Sure, absolutely.
Oh, maybe we could get another look at that miscue. That would be interesting because it didn't. Oh, yeah, he did have to get down pretty low. Let's watch this tip coming forward.
Straight low, just slid a little bit off of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the shaft definitely jumped.
You could see a little bounce in the hit.
And it didn't seem that low. It wasn't like, if you touch the cloth before you hit the cue ball, you'll miscue. But that one, it was almost like maybe it's a laminated tip and some of the glue got exposed.
Yeah.
Or the chalk wasn't on there.
I've been toying around with some things on the miscue, just as far as like if your elbow drops early and the cue levels out a little bit. It's kind of like deflection. If you hit the right side of the ball, right, with a level cue, that's when it deflects the most, right? Because you put more cue mass into the ball, right, with a level cue. So now I've found when players tend to drop the elbow a hair early, like say they get just a little quick descending, the cue kind of levels out, and sometimes it can put a little pressure on a certain part of the cue ball. And I don't know, it seems like it may cause some miscues. Now, this is a fun shot. I love the pull. He should be able to pull this across one rail. He's got a great stroke. I think the 3 goes by the 8, correct?
Yes. Well,
It's
I believe
tight.
so. I believe so.
It's almost a little funnier dying the ball, in my opinion, behind the 8 than it is just letting your stroke out and draw across. Now, is he going to follow this into the 8? You would doubt. See, and this is kind of why, because the cue ball wants to kind of fall on you a little bit. You know,
that got weird.
Yeah. Missable ball, let's say that.
Now you got to deal with the side pocket, so you're going to have to stun. You're going to have to power up a little bit. Yeah, right there where he's put this tip.
Yeah, but I hate to see him play a bit of a two-way here, trying to hold behind the 7. I'd rather see him let his stroke out some if he can, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if he had to go ahead, Mark.
That's how he generally plays it, too. He does not play the cute two-way. He goes all out, so he might have been pointing on the rail where he's going to come out and go either into
the 7
or past and play the 4 back in the side.
I think into the 7 is a pretty smart play, especially if the shot lays that way. Oh, he's going with the high ball.
So he's leveling out.
That's into the 7 also. He might make them both. Looks sweet. Looks sweet. Center cut.
Yeah. Center cut. There it was.
Yeah, may have been the longest he's been down on a ball yet.
Mm-hmm.
In this probably semifinal and final.
Boy, he's playing good.
Yeah, he's he's a confident player anyways. And just imagine if he, builds a little more confidence on top of that. So, and super talented. Got a little thin from nowhere. He's a righty that will be stretched. He's about close to 6 foot tall, though, so 5'11" maybe. He likes the spin shots, though, him and David both. They don't mind putting a little side spin on the ball.
Got most of the way back in line. Going to need to go 2 cushions here.
Yeah, the way they're playing, the only thing I could see is an overcut here. I don't expect him to chunk it or hit it heavy. On the 10-foot, we saw a few overcuts. Oh, this isn't bad at all. Yeah, nice shot.
Yeah, he handled the speed quite well. I didn't know how thin it was. I thought maybe.
Yeah, that last camera angle over here really, really showed that it was a playable shot. Now, don't get me wrong, he made it look even better. Oh, inside. Wow, he's feeling good. That wasn't necessary. It didn't look like.
Yeah, Jen.
Yeah.
5-2 is our score. As he just passes the halfway mark to where he's heading.
Yeah, kind of. Just like that, I felt like the rack, even though there was some situations he had to deal with that first 2 ball, but after he got the 2 down and the 3 down, just kind of got going through the rack. And putting a little bit of filler on filler at the moment, you know.
Right.
Playing,
9:57.
Yeah, good position, making some shots.
44 balls down, 2 errors.
Yeah, and really, if you can look back from 6-2 or 3 down against Roland in the semifinal, I mean, what have we seen as far as errors from there from Ruiz? Really just very limited.
I think it's just these 2 errors.
Yeah, right.
I don't think he made any errors.
Yeah, he
after
broke
that.
and ran out or played 2 really nice safeties to end that match is what he did, so. I really think he can get a lot of offense out of this break here.
Had some spin.
Down. Oh, he needs another ball. The 5's got to go.
Did the 5 not reach?
Yeah.
I don't think it did.
No, it did not,
Okay.
unless it's right on it, and I don't think so. So we're going to see filler. And he's not passing this, whatever he's got to do. I mean, no matter what is necessary, he's not passing this.
He's not looking to play safe either.
No, it's touchy getting up behind the 3.
Kind of.
All right, what do? Low inside, go 2 rails at the back of the 4? Or is the 3 cuttable? Oh, wow. All right, watch out 4-9.
I think the 3 does go in the side from there.
Yeah, the
but
4-9.
The 4-9 got lodged up there weird.
Yeah, the kiss shot doesn't look doable.
The worst part with the kiss shot is when you miss it, the 9 hangs.
Yeah, because you got to hit it at a light speed. Yeah.
That's the worst part of it.
Maybe it does go with a lot of left spin. We should know it pretty easily when he gets down on the ball. Yeah, he's just playing safe. Oh, he wanted to cut off that rail. I don't know if he did. So coming from that rail there, what's possible? Just to bump the 4 to the back of the 6 and just, if you happen to get lucky with a snooker, that's fine. But just add a lot of right spin and softly go into the 4. Try and, live another day here with another kick shot.
He's looking at making it.
Eesh.
I know. And, here's one of the things. You can beat the corner scratch, but sometimes that side pocket scratch comes back in here.
By the 8, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, and he means if he cuts it in.
Right.
Yeah, it looks like to me you can really gauge the soft kick hitting it fat.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't go for
Wow.
No, he did go to make
Excuse me. How's the speed, by the way? And he hit it light, so he wouldn't scratch in that corner, kind of deflect off the 4, you know what I mean? Just in case he hits the 4 thick and doesn't make it. So all cylinders here for Ruiz. Oh, this is going to be a pretty one. And he's
yes, it is.
I think he's straight enough to hold his line to get to the good side of the 6. We'll see. He did an open bridge from distance earlier. I think this will be the closed bridge, though.
Big swing required.
All right, we'll see how clean he stays. Oh, sweet.
Striped it right down the middle of the fairway. That's what happened.
Yeah, and this has gotten a little funny. He's just got to, I think he's got to maybe take some distance on the 7 going between the 8-9 with the cue ball here, Mark. Like get to the head string since the 8's over the side, right? It looks like the line gets between the 8 and 9. You just got to go a little further with the cue ball to me.
Yeah, that's the easiest play.
Yeah,
right
just keep
there.
on going with the cue ball. No reason to get thin.
And that's not even bad. He's on the head string here.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And it's even better when you're designing it. Hey, that's how I wanted it as well.
Man, what a run out from filler safety, though.
Yeah.
A couple big shots.
And like I said last game, kind of feel like he's putting a little filler on Josh here. Josh comes with those kick shots like that as well.
Most impressive. Yeah. I'd like to get another look at that kick shot. How about you, Jeremy?
Absolutely.
Here it is, soft speed. When he hit it this speed, I thought
Watch
he
the
was playing
throw.
I thought he was trying to play safe when I saw
Me
that
too.
speed.
Me too. And then just like one pocket, the best safe is 8 and out.
And then really the draw shot was worthy of a replay too. That was really beautiful.
Yeah, and it was real clean too, not overhit at all, and got just 100% out of the cue ball.
Fun to watch these guys play like this.
He made a nice rail first against Roland. I don't know if you remember. It wasn't that severe, but it was another tough one. So might want to pick his brain at what he's doing to kind of measure those.
The rack track revealed 3 in a row for Ruiz, lost 2, and then 3 in a row more for Ruiz. 6-2 is our score.
Yeah, and he's won some big tournaments. I don't know if there would be any bigger as of to date than the Derby City Classic, especially with such a great field. Do you know of any? I know he's won some Euro tours, and don't get me wrong, those fields are awesome. Don't think they carry the name of the Derby City Classic.
No.
All right. Seems like when he gets the one down, it's all good.
Got covered. Again, he made 3 balls, though, Jeremy.
Yeah, and he's got to not, get slowed down by this. He's won some games battling with filler, so obviously it'll be up table. Can't ever roll out behind the 9. Really getting the balls to jump out of the rack. Look at the 6 and 7 here, just pow in the lower corner, the one in the side.
Fighting to get into the pocket.
Yeah, he's got to roll out up table. The problem here is, can you roll out to, if you put them on the rail, can you roll out to thin the 2 or not? So if you have to play a thick shot on the 2 here, Mark, you might not want to be on the rail with the cue ball. He may have to give up a little bit of space on the cue ball here. Because if you're,
I think there's like 0 chance Filler's not shooting from here.
I don't know.
No, even at a safety, I'm saying.
Yeah, but he can't afford to cut this much, hitting it full with that corner pocket looming, right? So thinning this is super tough.
Well, he is giving it back.
I think it is a give-up situation. I think if he gives him a little the bottom of the cue ball, I think Josh takes it for sure. But where are you going on the safety here? You have to hit this with speed so you can get deflected to the side rail with the cue ball. If you baby this, yeah, you hit it with speed, trying to come two up on it, you may have made it. Get out of here. But that was still difficult, you know what I mean, to command both balls, Mark?
Yes, absolutely. That was difficult. Anytime you're moving both balls.
And you're 8 feet away, 7 feet away.
Yeah.
Well, he could have got a little more out of this. So Josh is having to work a lot harder on this shot than I expected.
Maybe he can just come across the table and play the four.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's super funny. So just like you mentioned in an earlier match, when things are going against you, you've made a couple little mistakes. Normally to get back on the board, you got to fight through some tough ones, right?
Right.
All right, the 8's going to move maybe.
Oh, nicely played. Mrs. Filler quite pleased with that shot as she's banging on the table.
Oh, he went twice. I was surprised there. Pretty thick hit on the 8. He didn't really need twice.
Seems like he's struggling with his position play here in this match, and that's not usual for Filler.
Well, I think he's upset that the lead he surrendered off of a few shots, and then Ruiz piled it on with some amazing shots.
Yeah.
So you can see by that, TPA of 788. That's not Phil winning or losing usually.
We haven't seen him in the 700s all week.
Yeah. And it's only 6-3 in a winter break format. We'll see if he gets that same connection on the rack that he's hoping for with a little bit lighter break, of course. I think the same break location, though, as Ruiz. That may have something to do with these guys being really successful as a whole from that side. All right.
3 balls down.
Yeah, complied easily. He's going to get a funny shot on the 1, but the 2 is open. Ooh.
Yeah. This isn't a fun bank to play because your cue ball's heading into all the traffic here.
No, he may just dig on the ball and swing the ball underneath the 4 and back around and just go ahead and go for the bank. Like with a low left English.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go ahead and cue it. I mean, hate to make this bank with high and get snookered. Yeah, see where he's cueing?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and swing underneath. Just like that bank. Oh, he caught like with a low left though. English trying to go around him.
Yep.
Yeah, just go ahead and cue it. I mean, hate to make this bank with high and get snookered.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah, see where he's cueing?
Go for a bank here.
Go ahead and swing underneath. Just like that bank. Oh, he caught like with a low left though. English trying to go around him.
Yep.
Yeah, just go ahead and cue it. I mean, hate to make this bank with high and get snookered.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah, see where he's cueing?
Right behind bank here.
Go ahead and swing underneath.
I think he can get it.
Yeah, just like that bank. Oh, he caught like with a low left though. English trying to go around him.
I think he gets it at this too.
ball. Yeah, just go ahead and cue it. I mean, if you need to make this banquet high and get snookered.
Yeah, he can.
See where he's cueing?
Right behind bank.
Go ahead and swing underneath. Just
I think he can get it.
yeah, just like that.
It's a shot he really needs.
Oh, he caught like with the low lefty, though. He's trying to go around him.
Yep.
Yeah, just go ahead and cue it. I mean, if you need to make this banquet high and get snookered.
Yeah, he can.
See where he's cueing?
Right behind bank.
Go ahead and swing underneath. Just
I think he can get it. Things first, you got to pocket the two.
Yeah.
yeah, now. Oh, he did hold it like what a super shot.
He's really shown some tremendous billiards savvy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not just the pocketing. We know he's a great shot maker, but he's showing some handling of the cue ball and fine situations here beyond what we were maybe previously fully aware of.
Yeah, and the facial expression to me has changed just a hair for Ruiz.